You know how they say laughter is the best medicine? It is. It really is. Let me explain. During my pregnancy, my last pregnancy with my child, Navy, every time I went to the doctor, they gave me bad news. Every single time. They kept saying that I wouldn't carry to full term, that I would lose the baby. And typically that would send someone emotionally down a bad, like, depressional state and all that stuff. But I just kind of looked at the doctor and I said, good times. Every single time they gave me bad news, right? And I placed it in God's hands, and luckily I was able to deliver my child, and she's beautiful, and she's smart, and she's funny, and she's just, I could go on. But my point is this. Just because someone is giving you not so great news doesn't mean you can't have a good outlook, right? While you consider what they're saying, right, that's important. But you don't hold on to it. Because if you hold on to that tension, that negativity, you're only going to, make yourself go crazy. And I knew that I had to be as calm, as stress-free as possible in that pregnancy. I was a high-risk pregnancy because of my age, and then also complications from previous issues. So, as I do a lot of research. My doctors know I do a lot of research, and they're okay with it. Where other people, they'll go and they'll Google or WebMD things, and like, oh my God, I have this. No, I don't have that problem. I legit have doctors who are okay with me doing research because I do research with a clear head, right? And I don't jump to conclusions. While when I find stuff that might point to certain things, I'll write up a summary of what I found, right? And I bring that summary and the article in which I found it from, like, Mayo Clinic or John Hopkins or whatever the deal is, right? And I find that stuff and I print it out and I give it to my doctor and we discuss what the potential tests that they can run to rule out anything, because I have what's called a complicated case. And this was even before me even having my child. Okay, I remember my Dr. Juan in Walnut Creek. She's a wonderful lady. She told me, right, when she got my entire medical file, that the whole weekend, right, the weekend of right after she met me, she spent the whole weekend, mind you, my medical file at that time was about this thick. And she said, Tiffany, I straight up had a salad, a chef salad, and some water, and I just kept turning pages and eating. It was fascinating to read your medical file, because you're the type of patient we study. And I'm not foreign to that. I'm at teaching hospitals where they're constantly trying to teach other potential doctors so that they can understand certain things. And I joke around and recently I said to one of my doctors, I was just like, I'm kind of like in a House MD episode, where the guy he's trying to figure out what's going on and everybody else can't figure it out, and then he makes jokes and sarcasm and all that stuff, which I love. I love sarcasm. It drips from my lips. And and so I go in knowing that there's potentially bad news, okay? Because it softens the blow when they actually give me bad news. But at the same time, I don't hold on to it. Okay, so right now I'm learning more about why I'm waking up with extreme, and I mean extreme, severe cramps, to the point where it doesn't just lock up my body. Okay, my tendon from my this morning, my tendon from my big toe to my knee locked up in such a way that I looked down and I felt my leg twisting. I'm like, well, I'm not doing that. And I looked down and it's twisting it in an unnatural way. And it's severe, it's getting worse by the second, right? So I immediately jump up and I use the restroom because it's interesting. After I urinate, right? Most of the time it subsides, it goes away. But this morning it didn't. Not until after I had, a number 2, and then it went away. With an ice pack, of course. Ice pack, I learned that ice packs are great for cramps because what it does is while it's restricting blood flow, it also numbs the nerves, so it calms them down. Okay, so if you're susceptible to cramping, throw an ice pack on the area, okay? Just trust me on this. It goes away real quick. But it's interesting because I've noticed a pattern of when I don't have to be asleep for this to happen. I could be on the bus, sitting down, and then I have this moment of I have to use the restroom. And if I don't get to the restroom soon enough, my leg will completely lock up. Okay? Or my arm, or my whatever, my back. But once I do use the restroom, then it goes away. It's the weirdest thing. And so they've done, in the past they've done, hydration tests and all that stuff. But now I'm learning, because of my neurological issues, that it's quite possibly all due to my spine and my injury. So my nervous system is compromised because of my cervical spine injury back in 2019. And I'm just like, I could be pissed, but I didn't. I was just like, of course it is. Of course it's attached to my nervous system and my brain and my spine, because why not, right? Sarcasm again, because that's how I deal with stuff. Hard stuff. Usually I use sarcasm to deal with stupid people, and I just kind of look at them and wonder how they got so far in life, but I digress. That's another topic. But back to what I was saying. I just kind of laugh at it because I know that, God's in control regardless of my situation. So I'm not worried. But at the same time, I'm still actively seeking answers because I want to be out of pain. I'm tired of being in pain. It sucks. And because I'm a natural redhead, but you wouldn't know that because I look blonde now. And just a fun fact, if you don't know this, if you are a redhead and you still don't know this, fun fact, I think God favors us. Just put that out there. Why do I think that? Because, see, when other people get old, they go gray. Right? We don't go gray. We go blonde. Natural redheads go blonde. He gave us highlights, like natural highlights, and then we transition into the white hair. I'm just saying, perspective. So I just wanted to share that. And again, life is a journey, and if you take it too seriously, you're gonna miss out on it. So don't laugh it up. Okay, recognize you got issues going on in your life. Yes, recognize them, write them down, discuss them with your doctors, but don't hold on to the negativity. It'll kill you here, it'll kill you here, and it'll kill you up here. Just saying. Have a good day.